Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee are the best Pokemon games until good.
Whoa, before you go disliking the video or nothing, let me explain. Give me a chance. Let me explain. And oh boy, is this going to be a controversial one to say the least. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are the greatest Pokemon games to release in the past 10 years. With the transition from the Nintendo 3DS to the Nintendo Switch, it feels right at home and looks absolutely gorgeous. And the presentation hasn't looked this good since the moving sprites. In Gen 5, it has the Pokemon following the main character for the first time since Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and it brings back the emphasis on gotta catch 'em all.
But Phantom, it has a terrible PvP system and super dumbed down. It's for taking my movie Pokemon Go too.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things that aren't the greatest in this game, but there are a lot of good things too. But let's just hop straight into it. These games are dummy easy. Even just in the first gym, it requires you to bring a grass Pokemon, which will most likely be Bellsprout unless you chose Bulbasaur at the start, to even battle the gym. I mean, come on!
But Phantom, the game is made for children. Of course it's gonna be easy.
Yes, I recognize the game is made for children, obviously, but that doesn't mean that you can't have different difficulty settings. Maybe make it an option to say, do you want this game to be easy as fuck, or do you actually want to play the damn game and you're older than 3? Let me have that option. How is it that hard? Typically in Pokemon games, the way I like to play it is I like to grind my Pokemon a little bit so I know I can just absolutely demolish the gym leaders. But in this game, I could do just that without ever grinding, without ever spending time looking for other Pokemon. And in this game, it's a lot of fun to grind. It's encouraging because you get all these streaks of catches and you get all this XP, and it's really interesting the way they go about it. But they then make the game just stupid easy, so it kind of defeats the purpose of doing all those things. What's the point of spending all this time to find a rare Pokemon in a route when you can just fight the gym instantly and not even worry about that Pokemon? It seems to be the way that the Pokemon games have been going for the past 10 years anyway, and it just sucks, because I want a challenge, and I want it to be difficult. And I understand that you can't have difficulty too much in a children's game, and they've gotten easier and easier to try and make these games more appealing to the younger audience, and I get that. That's wonderful, but then give us an option as well. There's no harm or foul in giving options for everyone. Just because it's a children's game doesn't mean that you have to cater to one audience. You can cater to all, because obviously Pokemon is made not just for children, but for all audiences. I started playing this game when I was 7 years old, and I haven't stopped playing it since, and I won't stop playing it. So please give me an option as I get older to make this difficult. But with that said, what is encouraging about this game over the past couple games is the fact that it's not as handholdy. Maybe handholdy is not the right adjective? Is that an adjective? Jesus Christ, I should know this. I think it's an adverb. Regardless, maybe it's not the right term, but what I cannot stand about Gen 7 and Gen 8, and it is by far the worst thing that they've added to Pokemon, is how often they stop you to tell you about random shit you don't give a fuck about! Just let me play the godforsaken game without stopping me every 5 seconds to tell me about what's about to happen next! Let me get into a goddamn groove!
Jesus Christ, Phantom, calm down. Good God.
You know, it's not that I am mad, I'm just disappointed. Okay, I'm a little mad, but it's mostly disappointment. Ooh, I'm calm, I'm calm. And that's what's great about these games. It doesn't do that. It doesn't stop you every 5 seconds. It lets you play the game. Now, it's handholdy in other aspects, but the fact that I don't have to stop and mash the A button every 5 minutes throughout the game is wonderful, and it brings me back to what Pokemon games used to be. Stop doing this, Pokemon Company. Stop it. Seeing Viridian Forest turn into this 3D masterpiece with this gorgeous sunlight beaming through the tall trees and the Pokemon just filling the screen throughout the entire way was just fantastic. They did a great job with the presentation in this game, and it looks wonderful. I love it, and they did such a good job, and they pulled at your nostalgia strings to really make you feel like you were in the game that you played back when you were 7 years old in Red and Blue.
But Phantom, you just Gen 1er. That's all you really care about.
Yeah, I get it. I'm a Gen 1er, and I accept that, and I love it. I will play Kanto a million times, and I won't get sick of it. It is the game I started with, and it will always be my favorite region. Now, Johto is my favorite games, but Kanto has my heart in regards to the region. So that definitely affects some of this rating. Don't get me wrong, I recognize that. But at the same time, I don't get the hate for Gen 1. Stop the hate. Give me a break. You can call me a Gen 1er all you want, but at the end of the day, it was a great region, and it's what started all the Pokemon games. I get it. Pokemon are kind of really hammering home Gen 1. I understand why people don't like Gen 1ers, but so be it. The fact that you can choose all 151 Pokemon to follow you, and it has a moving animation for all of them, is for one, astounding, and two, incredible, and why hasn't it been done in every single game since?
But Phantom, Game Freak is a tiny company. They want to keep it that way. There is not enough time to do all of those Pokemon with moving animations and...
Just stop there. Just stop. I am so sick and tired of hearing how Game Freak can't do certain things. We have games like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, games that are defining each genre within these games on the Switch. Nintendo has done incredible things with their IPs, but they keep going backwards with Pokemon. Why do they keep adding features that are fantastic for some games, but then take them away and people defend them? Stop defending this practice of making your game shitty because you don't have the resources or the time or all these other things. Stop! Stop saying that that's okay. I don't understand this mentality that we as consumers are defending these multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar industries that we're saying, oh, they didn't have enough time or they're too small of a company or some other bullshit. Stop allowing that to happen. We are consumers that deserve the best they can come out with at that time. And that's frustrating that the Nintendo company are pumping out these amazing, incredible, wonderful games for the Nintendo Switch, and the Pokemon company is saying, good enough.
But Phantom, you buy the games every year. You're part of the problem.
Absolutely. They could come out with Pokemon shit and Pokemon piss, and I'd be the first one to buy both copies. They hooked me the moment that I got my Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow, and they will always have me. I'll buy all of their games. So, yeah, I probably am part of the problem, but that doesn't mean we can't complain about problems in the game that we want to see fixed, and hope and pray that the Pokemon Company will actually do something about it. I'm getting on a rant of what the point of this part of the video is supposed to be, but Pokemon following needs to be in all of the games, and it looks fantastic on this game, and it is so fun to see the Pokemon's personality come out when they are following your character and play through the game with all of these different Pokemon that can show their personality through their movement. The greatest thing this game has brought to the Pokemon franchise is the emphasis on catching the actual Pokemon. When it comes down to it, and when you boil it down to its purest form, Pokemon seems to be about catching Pokemon. I know that seems pretty obvious, but that's why I love these games so much, because it puts such an emphasis and a reward structure around catching Pokemon. It's the same reason why Pokemon Go was so popular, and I get that this game is basically a knockoff version of that, but it mixes the Pokemon Go gameplay with the gameplay of the main series, and it brings it together in a cohesive fashion that I think should really be praised by Pokemon fans. In fact, I've been playing Pokemon for 20 years, and it wasn't until this game that I caught all the Pokemon. This game just really brought out that emphasis on wanting to catch them all for me, and I enjoyed it the whole way through. I caught thousands, literally, of Pokemon that I've all now transferred over to Pokemon Home that I would never have caught in the old games. It just seems a little bit too tedious, and this game really makes it much easier and a lot more fun. Now, when I first bought this game and played it when it released, I played the entire game in handheld. It wasn't that bad, and the catch mechanic seems pretty fine. But when I recorded this video next to my computer while on my Switch and it's in docked mode, Jesus, don't play this game that way. Play it in handheld. It is so dumb having to throw the Joy-Con at the screen, and half the time it just flies off the side of the screen, and you don't even know what you're supposed to point at. What am I supposed to be throwing at? The Switch? The TV? God? What am I supposed to be doing here? Regardless, the base game, putting the emphasis on catching, is what really draws me to this game and is the reason why I genuinely think this is the best Pokemon game to release in 10 years. This is obviously all subjective, and plenty of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people dislike this game. I'm very much hoping for a Let's Go Johto, and I know people dread the idea of that, but it seems fascinating to me, and I really hope it happens. I think these games are a lot of fun, and I think they're extremely underrated, and I really implore you to go back and try the games again and see it from a different angle and maybe understand why this game is not a main series game, and it can be a knockoff series that is just as good for not only younger audiences, but for a big Pokemon fan base that can really enjoy these titles.
Wait.
I mean, I'm not saying it's better than that game, but I'm saying it's better than that game.
This is where your opinion doesn't matter.
That's fair. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoy it. I spent a good amount of time on it, so if you did like it, make sure you hit that like button. And if you think that you want more of these videos, also hit subscribe so you can see more content like this. If you guys are interested in my Twitch channel, link is in the description below. I stream every Sunday and Wednesday, and so I hope to see you guys there. See you in the next video.